Hello guys, welcome back to the channel once again. Today I'm here to share with our top student plus teacher lesbian movies. Obviously, this will include a couple of romances and also a couple of complicated, lesbian sapphic, storylines that happen between, the teacher and the students. But before we get into further details, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. So first we're gonna start off with Dreams. In the 2025 film, it is a Norwegian drama basically called Dreams. The film focuses on a teenage girl, infatuation with her female friend's teacher. The plot follows Joanne falls in love with a teacher. Joanne, she documents her intimate and explicit romantic experiences in a diary, was subsequently discovered by her mother and grandmother. This sparks a family debate on love, creative writing, and the nature of her experiences. There is a review of the movie on the channel. So basically, she gets this obsession with her teacher that actually, end up helping her out, with some extracurricular activities. But obviously, their relationship never, ever, ever gets, intimate to that point. Her teacher just genuinely cares for her and sees, her as a different, student. Obviously, a lot of people feel like the teacher also had feelings for her, but obviously later on, by the end of the movie, you can see the teacher clearing things up. Very interesting plot, and like I said, there is a full review on it on the channel. So go ahead, go watch, go support. It's actually a really, 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 really good movie. Then moving forward, we have one of my favorite ones, and it's called Bloomington. Yes, it was released in 2010. The narrative centers on Jackie, a 90-year-old former, child actress who involves in a college in Bloomington, Indiana, to escape her Hollywood spotlight, seeking a normal adult life. She soon becomes romantically involved with a seductive and controversial, psychology teacher, Catherine. Their secret affair, basically threatens, Jackie's receive a major opportunity to return to acting, forcing both women to make difficult, choices about the future, and also end up realizing that maybe the best thing for their relationship is for them to go separate ways. But one thing I have to say is that these two definitely fell deeply in love with one another. But obviously, I also knew that at some point they knew it wasn't gonna last. They knew it was gonna be a temporary love story, and I can say that they basically have lived it to the fullest. Let me know your personal opinion on this movie. This was actually one of the first ever lesbian movies I have ever watched. So yes, it was actually really good. And we have this one that have a lot of people having their own opinions on it, and it's called Crack. It is a 2009 psychological drama. The story takes place in a apprentice in isolated Iceland boarding school. Miss G is the glamorous diving instructor who captivates her students with progressive ideas. When Fiamma arrives, she isn't charmed by Miss Jeans. She quickly realizes that Miss Jeans' travel stories are, fraudulent, copied straight out of her old library books. But she becomes obsessed with, Fiamma, and she shifts all her attention to the newcomer, sparking a toxic chain of events. And also, it ends up taking a very, very dark turn due to a event that happened, during a very, a night that, things got very, very dark. Moral of the story. So from that moment on, you can just see how the shift of the movie ends up changing, because now it's a complexity of, what, like, this is really bad and how do they get out of it, especially when Fiona tries to run away from the school because of everything that happened. So this one very, very, very interesting. Then moving forward, we have Limbo. It is a 2014 Danish coming of queer drama set in a quiet Danish port town. The film follows Sarah, a teenager completing her final year of high school. Her life shifts as when, in this case, Karen, a young woman from the forest island, arrives to work as the new drama teacher. Sarah becomes deeply, fascinated by Karen's unconventional views, which, rehearsing for a school play. Sarah, attempts to get closer to her, and complex unspoken romantic connection develops between them. Obviously, the movie leads to a disappointment and isolation, because they end up realizing that even though they have this attraction towards one another, maybe things is not as simple as they thought it would actually be. Yes, a lot of people feel like this movie's plot wasn't it. A lot of people feel like it's actually very interesting because it can be a reality in a lot of cases. But we're gonna leave that one open for debate. So if you guys have more, details regarding the movie, if you guys have more thoughts on the movies, or just your own personal, view on the movies, please, please, please drop it down below in the comments. Like I said, this movie was released over 10 years ago. So yes, like the quality isn't the best. The acting, I definitely didn't like it. I feel like a little bit too slow for me, not really my cup of tea. But to each his own, and that's why I will leave it open for debate. So let me know if you guys have watched Limbo and what is your personal opinion on it. Then moving forward, we have Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman. It is a 2017 biographical drama. The film depicts the real life affair between Wonder Woman creator William, his wife, and Elizabeth in this case, and their partner Oliver. The lesbian relationship between the two ladies is emotionally, a core direct inspiration of strength and independence of the iconic superhero. Keep in mind, after William, passes away, the two ladies stayed together for 43 years. The connection between the two is actually really good and super intense. In my personal opinion, this movie does not need no introduction. I feel like everybody, when it comes to lesbian movies and all of that, you have definitely watched this one. And if you haven't, I will highly recommend it. Even though it's not 100% just focused on their relationship, but you can see the importance of their bond, in the movie, and how, they could come together in difficult times and make this relationship work, especially with all the controversy that they have going on. Yes, this movie had left a lot of people speaking. A lot of people feel like, nah, but the plot is very different. And obviously, like I said, when he passes away, they end up still living together and having, their relationship going. And we have After the Hunt. In the 2026 film, it's actually very different from the other ones that are on the list, specifically because of the plot. If you guys don't know, the prominent lesbian character is a wealthy PhD philosophy student at Yale. Her name is Maggie. Maggie is the brilliant but obsessive, pupil of the main character, Professor Alma. The central plot of the film ignites when Maggie accuses Alma's close colleague and friend Hank of basically ACCUSES. Obviously, Hank ends up, denying those accusations. So that's where the whole plot of the movie just takes a turn, because now Professor Alma is in a situation if she should believe Maggie or should she believe Hank. And she's still trying to make sense of everything that's going on so they can figure out the real truth. Obviously, in this case, Alex is Maggie's partner that we see her in a relationship with most of the movie, but you can see that Maggie has this slight obsession with Alma, who is her teacher. So yes, it's a very complex, dynamic. Obviously, it's like the student have an obsession with the teacher to get closer to her, but it might be true, it might not be true. So there's a whole lot of things, that we see unveiling, as the movie actually ends up, continuing. Very, very good movie. So yes, guys, that's basically it. If you guys know any other good, student, teacher lesbian movies, please drop it down below in the comments so we can possibly do a part 2 very, very soon. Please, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments.